it's Adaptive Goddess, and today I'm going to be talking about the mindfulness skill of what? So this is a skill that is taught in the mindfulness module along with Wise Mind when you are learning DBT. So this is a skill that is comprised of 3 different components. 1 being observe, 2 being describe, and 3 being participate. In the observe component, what you are doing is simply observing. So in other words, wordless watching. To me, that drove me crazy because I'm like, how can you watch really without words? I mean, you're constantly describing things when you're watching. And someone explained to me that no, what you're doing is you are just noticing it's there. For example, if you were to go outside and sit down to be in the moment, what you would do is, oh, tree, grass, car, in your head. You wouldn't say any of this out loud, but you would just notice that there are things there. You also notice things that go on inside of you as well as outside of you. So you are using all 5 of your senses. And in this component, you are also just noticing your thoughts coming and going. Kind of like a conveyor belt. You just kind of like, oh, there's a thought, and there's a thought, and there's another thought. You're not putting any descriptives into what you are noticing at all. The second component is describe. And this is when you are putting words to your experience. So for example, I feel hot. My skin feels really warm. I feel sad. Things like that, where there's no judgment, there's no other descriptive words besides what is. When you put words to the experience, you do not put any interpretation to those words. The last component is participate. This is when you put 100% of yourself and your focus into what you are doing. In other words, you get into the zone. You fully experience the moment, emotions included. So you would fully experience any emotions that are going on, whether they are positive or negative. And when you feel the emotion to the fullest extent, you use your wise mind to make a decision about how you should respond with this emotion instead of acting impulsively. So for example, if you're feeling stressed or anxious and you notice that your stomach is turning and you're feeling nauseous and you're red and really warm and just the clothes aren't fitting right, you use this what skill to kind of observe that the person who's not moving in the car in front of you or in the line in front of you is causing you to stress out. And you kind of put to words of like, oh, I feel really warm. But you participate in the fact that you're standing in line, maybe count the number of items you have and make sure that you're checking off your list if you're at the grocery store, or fully divulge yourself into the music you're listening to in the car. And if you're having a negative emotion like anger, instead of lashing out at the person, you use your wise mind. See my previous video for a full description of what wise mind is, to make a decision about what you should do in terms of your behavior. Your choices about what you yourself feel or think you need to do is completely and 100% up to you. No one can ever tell you what your wise mind should be thinking, because how you think and how your wise mind responds to situations is completely and 100% about how your brain processes information. So that's it for the what skill. There are so many skills to mindfulness, and I'm so excited to share them all with you. including my insight into them, because mindfulness was really the hardest module for me to get in terms of the DBT modules. I never really understood them. They always got me really confused, especially the what skill. Because I was like, what do you mean? Like, I really don't get this. And so I'm really glad and honored to be able to share kind of my insight into these skills with you. So the what skill is a really core part of mindfulness that, to me, helped me stay present in the moment. And I used this skill a lot when I was working in an inpatient facility, where the kids and teens I was working with would have huge, major, aggressive episodes. And none of it really fazed me, because I would not get caught in thinking traps. I would always use my wise mind, and I always would use my what skills to make sure that I'm staying present in the moment, that I notice the behavior, but I'm not putting any judgment on that behavior, and that I'm using what I know to be beneficial for these children and teens in that moment, so that I don't take anything personally. I do what's best for them, and that I stay understanding of their situation. Leave a comment down below. What is a moment that you wish that you could have stayed incredibly calm? That you're looking back on it and go, man, I interacted or I lashed out in a way that I shouldn't have. For me, I think being told I wouldn't be a police officer, I really lashed out at my parents, and I wish I had taken that a little bit calmer, because it wasn't their fault that I couldn't be a police officer. It was just kind of the system's fault and my brain's fault. It was just kind of the deck of cards I was handed. But I made it really seem like it was their fault. And knowing what I know now, it wasn't anything to do with them. And I wish I had taken it a lot calmer, so that I could have figured out what I wanted to do with my life a little bit sooner. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and gently tap that like button. And remember to be kind, compassionate, and true to you.